Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm turning my City Holiday dies into spooky Halloween house using the brand new Halloween City Holiday add-on dies from Spellbinders. If you already own the original City Holiday die set, this add-on gives you an entirely new way to use it. Instead of building a cozy townhouse, we're transforming it into a haunted house complete with ghosts, bats, pumpkins, spiderwebs, spooky windows, and lots of fun little details. You can absolutely use the Halloween City Holiday dies on their own, and I have another video showing exactly that coming soon. But today I want to focus on how these new pieces work together with the original City Holiday building, because that's really where the magic happens. If you're new to the City Holiday collection, I'll also link my original assembly video tutorial below. I have several videos showing how to build the base structure along with ideas for using everyday City Holiday add-on dies. Today though, it's all about Halloween, so let's get started. Before filming, I went ahead and I die cut two City Holiday buildings. One is cut from Spellbinders brushed black cardstock, and another one cut from Spellbinders chiffon cardstock. Originally, I cut the upper portion from white cardstock while planning the project, but I later switched to chiffon because I loved the softer contrast against the black. I'm trimming the first floor from the brushed black cardstock building using my paper trimmer. The upper floors will stay chiffon, while the first floor remains black. This simple color change instantly gives the building much more character. And if you really want to take this idea further, you can cut every floor from different cardstock color to create even more custom look and even make your building taller. Here's one of my favorite tricks in the entire collection. I'm using the roof die not as a roof, but as a decorative architectural molding. Simply flip the roof die cut upside down and it suddenly becomes beautiful trim separating the first and the second floors. It's one of those little details that's easy to overlook, but it completely changes the look of the building. I die cut this piece from black glitter cardstock in the Spellbinders Treasured cardstock pack. The subtle sparkle catches the light beautifully and adds just the right amount of contrast against the matte brushed black cardstock. I'm assembling everything on my Glassboard Studio magnetic glassboard mat. You may have noticed I am back to my black mat. I usually switch to the black one during the summer because my studio gets so much natural light. Then once winter arrives and the days become darker, I swap back to the white mat. The magnets make this board especially useful when assembling intricate die-cut projects because they keep all of the little pieces exactly where I want them and also while the glue is drying on them. Now to attach the decorative molding, I'm using foam adhesive strips. For long, narrow die cuts like this, I usually prefer strips over foam squares. One strip gives continuous support across the entire piece. It's faster to apply and everything stays perfectly straight. Already you can see how much more architectural the building looks. I'm also attaching the roof. Now, by the way, the Halloween add-on isn't the final chapter for City Holiday. Coming in September is the Christmas City Holiday add-on, which includes another roof option inspired by classic European mansard roofs. I can't wait to show you that one. And you can also use that one with the Halloween City Holiday. Now let's move on to the details that really bring this building to life. The windows. This time I wanted to make assembly even easier, so instead of using liquid glue, I added Spellbinders double-sided adhesive sheets to the back of my cardstock before die cutting the window frames. The frames themselves were die cut from Nina Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock. Using adhesive sheets turned every window frame into its own sticker. It makes assembly wonderfully quick, especially when you're working with lots of tiny pieces like these. I also die cut a second set of windows from black glitter cardstock because I originally planned to use black window frames on the first floor. As you'll see later, I ended up changing my mind. Behind the windows, I'm using Spellbinders saffron cardstock anywhere I want the lights to appear inside the building. For the dark windows, I use Spellbinders black glitter cardstock. Mixing lit and dark windows immediately makes the building much more realistic because not every room would have the lights on at the same time. It's another small detail, but it adds a surprising amount of life to the finished scene. One of my favorite additions in the Halloween City Holiday is the tiny set of spooky eyes. It's such a simple die, but it completely transforms an ordinary window into something delightfully creepy. So here's an assembly trick. Instead of trying to place the eyes one at a time, I like to use the negative die cut as an alignment guide. I simply drop each eye into the opening using my tweezers, adhere it in place, and then remove the guide. It's quick, it's accurate, and it saves a lot of frustration. Now it's time to add some ghosts. The Halloween City Holiday includes 3 different ghost designs, and I intentionally made them slightly different in both size and pose. That way, when you use several of them together, the scene feels much more natural. One detail I especially love is that the ghosts were designed to work in 2 different ways. You can place them behind the windows so they look like they're peeking out from inside the house, or you can place them on the outside of the building as though they're floating through the night sky. Same die, completely different story. That's something I always try to think about when designing dies. How can one piece do more than just one job? I die cut all of my ghosts from white textured cardstock, while the window frames were die cut from smooth cardstock. Even though they're both white, they don't look the same. The textured cardstock helps separate the ghosts from the smooth window frames without introducing another color. Texture is one of the easiest ways to create contrast, even when you're working with a very limited color palette. The same applies to black paper that I'm using for this card. If you happen to have Spellbinders spinners, here's another fun idea. Instead of placing the ghosts directly onto the building, attach them to the spinner and let them spin in front of the house. Just a little bit of movement instantly makes this entire Halloween scene feel more alive. I'll use the spinners, but with the bats a little bit later. There's also a small backing die that creates the dark opening behind the ghost eyes and mouth. Ideally, you'll want to adhere that before attaching the ghosts, but I forgot, which is why you're seeing me add it afterwards. The good news is it still works perfectly. Sometimes leaving those little moments in a tutorial is helpful because crafting rarely goes exactly according to plan. Whenever I'm assembling intricate die-cut projects like this, there are a few tools I always keep nearby, like a good pair of tweezers, the Spellbinders pickup tool, the detail scissors, and a fine tip liquid adhesive like Barely Arts. None of these tools are absolutely required, but they make handling tiny die cuts so much easier. It's one of those situations where having the right tools really does make the process more enjoyable. Now let's soften the look of the house just a bit by adding curtains. I die cut curtains from regular vellum. There are lots of different specialty vellums out there, but plain vellum worked perfectly here. One reason I love using vellum for curtains is that it adds detail without adding another color. At this point, my color palette is intentionally very limited. I have black, yellow, gray, and white. Adding colored curtains would have introduced another visual element competing for attention. Vellum, on the other hand, keeps everything soft, subtle, and lets the Halloween details remain the star of the card. Even though the City Holiday die creates embossed placement guides for every window, I still like to use my Simon Says TM T-square ruler. The guides tell me where each window belongs, but the ruler helps me make sure every window is perfectly straight. And here's the completed Halloween City Holiday building. The first floor is the Spellbinders brushed black cardstock, while the second and third floors are Spellbinders chiffon cardstock. The decorative molding was die cut from black glitter cardstock in the Spellbinders treasured cardstock pack. The roof is white, the window frames are Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 80-pound cardstock, and the door frame and gallery window frame are Spellbinders Mere Gold cardstock. I also foiled one of the sentiments and placed it inside the large gallery window. This was foiled in matte black foil and reads "Trick or treat and something neat, spooky wishes to your street." You can also easily better press this. When I designed this collection, I intentionally created the sentiments to fit inside the gallery window. Of course, the coordinating dies allow you to cut them out and use them anywhere on your card, but I really love seeing them displayed inside the storefront windows. I also added bats using Spellbinders spinners, so the bats actually spin on the finished card. It's such a fun, interactive detail and brings lots of movement to the scene. I added several spider webs cut from Spellbinders brushed black cardstock, along with the little cat from the original City Holiday die. The cat fits perfectly on the windowsill, while the dog from the original set looks wonderfully sitting in front of the house. I didn't use the dog, but I just wanted to mention that there is a dog included. I also added the skeleton to the front door. Of course, you can place it on a window or anywhere else on your project, but I think it makes a wonderful Halloween door decor. Finally, I tucked 2 carved jack-o'-lanterns below the gallery window to add even more Halloween charm. Now let's turn this into a card. I'm using Spellbinders anchor cardstock to create a side-folding 5x7 card base, and I added another 5x7 panel of Spellbinders anchor cardstock on top. Next, I'm using the hail die from the original City Holiday dies. It was originally designed to create a snowy hillside, but here I'm using it to ground the building. I die cut it from Spellbinders indigo cardstock and added it along the bottom of the panel. To create the moon, I die cut a large circle from Spellbinders Tuscan cardstock using one of my larger Simon Says Stamp circle dies. The circle measures approximately 4.5 inches in diameter and creates the perfect oversized moon behind the house. I popped the building up using the thicker Alt-New Instant Dimension foam tape, giving it lots of dimension against the background. Finally, I added a few extra bats to complete the nighttime scene. And here's the finished card featuring the Halloween City Holiday collection together with the original City Holiday dies. I hope this tutorial gives you lots of ideas for decorating your own City Holiday buildings for Halloween. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. Love you guys, and I'll see you again soon with another video featuring the Halloween City Holiday add-on dies without the original City Holiday.